might be the time when you can sort of wrap your mind around eating that frog and attacking sort of the thing that you're most worried about, so that then you're not spending your whole day being busy avoiding that one thing.
Yeah, I really love that. I mean, that was one of the takeaways I had from your talk, which I loved, was just that, what that morning time is and how am I really using it. And I am definitely guilty of waking up, turning on my iPod, going, oh, I have to respond to these different fires that I have to put out. And it's just, it's killing me.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not alone. I mean, the reality is, the reason that, you know, all of us are so consumed with these products is because all of us are so consumed with these products. So we expect that, you know, since everyone else responds to us in instant time, we feel like we need to respond to everyone in instant time. But, you know, especially if you're someone who knows about martial arts and Qigong and, you know, building, I don't know if I say that correctly, but building energy work, I think you know, what's important for you is to keep your own energy sacred. And to think, you know, and maybe do you have a morning martial arts or Qigong practice?
It's called Qigong. No, it's common. I do. I meditate for an hour every day, and I have about an hour of Qigong practice, and then I work out. So that's part of the problem, is that I get up earlier and earlier so I can get those things done before I get to work. And I'm thinking I may need to just repurpose that. I'm not quite sure.
You know, I think those things are great, and I think it's amazing of you that you take such good care of yourself. I mean, really, like, my hat's off to you. That's phenomenal. What you might want to do is sort of use the 90 minutes that I've talked about and break up those workout practices so that you can use them to break up your day, so that if you do a morning meditation, then you've calmed yourself and sort of gathered your energy before you deal with some of the things that are most difficult for you in your day. And then you can reward yourself, take a break. Great, it's time for my martial arts practice now. And then
I really love that, and what you don't even know is you're coaching me to do what I teach, which is I have. Okay, I'm embarrassed.
We all do.
So I teach people, you know, little quick pivot things that they can do during their workday to shift their energy from being stressed and overwhelmed, and so. But I don't do it. You know? I mean, I do my Qigong practice, and it's my Qigong practice, but somehow I'm not doing it in the way I'm teaching business people to do it. So it would probably make me a more efficient teacher too.
You know, I think for all of us who are in the field of helping people, and I think, you know, around this room, that's probably 100% of people are in the field of helping other people. Sometimes we can get so devoted to helping other people that we forget to look inside of ourselves. And I think there's a reason it's called martial arts practice, or your meditation practice, because you need to keep coming back to it, and we all need to keep coming back to the things that refuel us and replenish us, and really believe. And I think this is the hard part for a lot of people, you know, for a lot of people everywhere, to really believe that doing things for ourselves and taking that time out to replenish and re-energize will actually make our work stronger and more productive in the long run. So thank you so much for coming up here. You're very brave and honest. I think your wisdom in noting that, you know, what you're so willing to give to others is harder to give to yourself, I think all of us can learn a lot from that, right?
Thank you so much. And if you have one more minute, if you would talk for just a minute about television and fear. Does that make a connection to you about using television or these different types of devices because of fear, avoidance because of fear? Or would you basically say it's about eating the frog? Because I love the eating the frog, and I'm definitely going to carry that with me. But is there something else you would say about that?
You know, I'm not 100% sure if this is answering your question, so I'll throw it out there, and you can tell me if this is what you're asking about. You know, I know there's a lot about fear and violence in television, and it's not something I have any knowledge or speak to at all, but I believe that for a lot of us, whatever device or whatever thing we're coming up with, it just becomes our procrastination like crutch. And the thing that it's easier to look at your phone for 5 seconds than really think about what you need to be doing next in your business. And for a lot of us, I mean, our attention spans have really been lowered. by looking at these devices constantly, being constantly entertained by them. You know, people don't just stand in grocery lines anymore and space out. They stand in grocery lines and stare at their phone. They stand in, you know, kids don't just sit in the car and look out the window. They sit in the car and they play their parents' iPhone games. You know, so I think that, you know, for a lot of us, and this is why it's great that you do meditation, is meditation can be a great practice of retraining our brain to really focus for a long period of time or for a longer period of time. So it seems like you have all the skills that you need. You just, you know, it's just a matter of really setting up a cue or habit. So is there like some habit that you could use in the morning that after you use this, you will eat that frog?
I think it's to make that list and look at what scares me the most and do that one first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you make the list in the morning or
Yeah.
the night before?
I've done both, but I seem to be fresher in the morning to know what it is that the things that really have to happen.
Okay. One thing I might recommend is, especially since you do have a meditation practice, if you can, see if you can make the list before you meditate. Because I'm guessing after you meditate, when you look at that list, it'll be much easier for you to get in touch with what's really scaring me but needs to get done today. And just circle that thing.
That was so helpful. Thank you so much.
So, you know, for most of us, you know, I think a lot of us can identify with what Vicky is going through. I mean, I myself, I know a lot of the science. Putting it into practice, that's a daily struggle for me as well. But what we need to do is figure out ways that we can make it easier for ourselves. Because the willpower way of constantly pushing, we gotta do this, that's just really not working for us. And it's gonna just make us tired all the time. So, who wants to avoid the willpower trap? Great, that's awesome. Who wants to get more sleep? And I appreciate that at least that none of you took the opportunity during this talk, so I'm very grateful for that. Who wants to work with more flow?
Oh, yeah.
Great. And who's ready to work hard and then really take a break?
I always do.
That's awesome, guys. So, you know, just like I talked with Vicky, see if you can pick out one of these tips. You know, try the easiest one, seriously, and commit to a test run for the next few weeks. I really would love to hear what you found. I'm really interested, so, you know, email me, come up to me after the meeting. And I did want to let people know I have a free report on how to work in flow, and I'm happy to email to any of you if you just give me your card afterwards. And then I wanted to end with, my parents were recently in town, as some of you know, because my mom came to the last meeting, and they found this. Good night iPad. So I just had to read the end. I'll leave it up here if anyone wants to see it. Good night remotes and Netflix streams, Androids, apps, and glowing screens.
I love it. I love this.
Good night buzzing, good night beeps, good night everybody who should be asleep.
That's so
Good night pop stars, good night MacBook Air, good night gadgets everywhere. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Joe.
take off on good night.
That was fantastic. We have never had